everyone, it's Jean from the Inky Owl Studio. Welcome and welcome back if you are a regular subby here, and I am just so pleased that you popped in for a few minutes to kind of see what I have going here on my desk. Um, I am making these fabric covered tags today, and I'm using the technique that I used to make the fabric covered TN journal a few videos ago, and I'll go ahead and link that down below in case you're interested in that. So I'm working on my cat journal still, and here is a little cute graphic from the Graphics Fairy, and this is free, a free download. My challenge with this journal is that I don't want to put a lot of thick things in it. Although, I love those tags that are really puffy and they have lots of stuff on them. Oh, gorgeous, and I love them. But I didn't want to fill up the journal too much because I want to be sensitive that people who get the journal will want to put in their own things. So this technique, I think, lends itself to making, a nice thin insert, and yet I'm using this wonderful fabric, and I love using fabric so much. So I'm going to show you the technique that I use for that, and we're going to make one today. First, I choose my fabric and I got my tag, and so now we need to attach the fabric to the tag. And yes, a person could use glue. You could use it, but I have found it's not always smooth, and also it can your fabric, depending how thin it is, can get wee-jawed, and I find that difficult to work with. So for me, the easiest, quickest, and neatest way is to get something. It comes in two kind of products. One's called Heat and Bond, which is what I have. I have Heat and Bond here. The other one is called Wonder Under. And both of them is a fabric adhesive that you iron on. So you have one side that's really rough, and the other side is nice, smooth, and papery. And what you'll end up doing is iron the rough side onto your card, and then peeling the paper back and having more glue show, and then you will iron on your fabric. I like to cut my Wonder Under or my Heat and Bond, whichever you use, just a hair smaller than my tag. And the easiest way for me to get that measurement, pretty close to being right, is that so let's say that I want to just have like a fourth of a yard, shy of the edge. So I will want to bring this down twice that amount on the top and on the side, right? Okay, so you'll see where I'm going with this. So I brought it down, twice that amount. Now, all I have to do is just follow the perimeter on this side all the way around like that. And now I've got my square, where I'm not totally to the edge. The reason I don't like to go to the edge is that the glue can sometimes hang over. If you don't get it perfect, a little bit of this can hang over, and then you catch it with your iron, and your iron gets goppy. And it's like, you can clean it, and that's not the end of the world, but who wants to stop and clean an iron? So that's why I like to go inside. And I also like to do it for a second reason, and that is I can fray, the edge of the fabric a little bit like that, because it's not glued and adhered to the tag. Alrighty. So Heat and Bond or Wonder Under, both will work fine. Then you get an iron, and you do not use steam. You turn the steam off of the iron. You don't want it to be really, really wet. And we're going to lay our thing down here, and I'm going to glue it. And you're just going to pass over it a little bit like this. Oh, my iron got cold. Ha ha. Sorry about that. I'll have to let my iron heat up just a minute. Okay, iron's hot now. Sorry about that little pause that you don't even know that I paused, right? So you just iron it on, kind of quickly. I like to go over it with something solid. Not necessary at all, but it helps it to lay a little flatter. Otherwise, it will tend to start curling up. So see, that's pretty flat. But if I iron it without doing that, then it has a tendency, well, I flattened it out, so now it's not going to do it, but it has a tendency to curl and buckle a little bit, which will go away, especially if you put it under a heavy book overnight or something like that. You don't need this, absolutely not. You can use just a heavy book and kind of put over it. And it just makes it cool down really fast and kind of give it more of a flatter type of results there for you. So it just depends. And then take your fabric. Now, of course, we need to peel back the paper, and peeling back the paper will reveal this sticky side here. I just noticed there is this shadow in here. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh dear. Let me go and correct that. Just a minute, please. Oh, that's much better. Sometimes different times of day, the shadows kind of get away from me. So now you've got your gluey side here, the shiny side. And then we're going to put our fabric down. Let's just iron it over here. All right. So you just nicely go over. It does not take that long. All righty. Then I will go ahead and pull it down. And now you can cut around the edge of it. And like I say, you can leave that little bit. You can either cut right to the edge if you want to, just cut it right there, or you can leave just a little hair over so that you can put a little fray on it if you'd like. It's totally up to you. I think I'll go ahead and leave a little bit off of there. Let's see, a little bit less than that maybe. There we go. So that is all done, all covered, nice and smooth, no bubbles, no bumps, no show through glue. Fabric Tech does work as far as holding the fabric for sure, but sometimes different glues like that, you can see where you've glued it, different lines. And this way you don't see any of that. And that's why I really like using this method quite a bit. All right, let me just sort of pick up everything here and set it to the side. There we go. So now we have our tag, and now we can cut the slants up here, and at this time is when I start cutting the slants. So I have this old preferred customer card thing. So sad that Hancock's no longer has a fabric store. But anyways, I just line it up and like so, and I can cut it here. And line it up over here and cut it. That way I've always got this pattern and I don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? There we go. Now it is a tag. And now if we want to, we can go ahead and use Fabric Tag for just to kind of glue on a piece of fabric. This is how I'm going to build mine up. It's a little bit on here, a little bit more texture. Yeah, a little bit more texture. I'm trying to think where I'm going to set that. How much of that flower am I going to put in here? I think I like that. Now, combining prints with prints, and this is another little tip that I learned that somebody taught me, and I, take it with a grain of salt. But you can combine prints with the rule that they both are in the same family. So these are in the same family of pinks and greens and such. And one's a small print and one's a larger print. So I don't know. It's sort of my quilting days kind of like suggested that that's how you do it. So that's the way I do it. And I'm not saying it doesn't look nice to do other things. Experiment, experiment is what I say. So I'm just going to go through here and just dab on a little bit of fabric tack. And we'll just glue this on here. Let's see, right about like that. I think it's cute. Now, of course, if you wanted to sew, this would be an excellent time to do it, of course. Over here, I did a zigzag stitch, and I did them randomly because the digital kit itself has these random zigzags throughout. And I thought, well, I'll just imitate, what they've done there. But this would be a good time to do that if that's what you wanted to do instead of gluing. And then we'll just get on a little bit of this lovely vintage lace. I just love it, and I hate to, I'm using it up and it's almost gone. I'm going to really be sad when I use the last of it. So we'll just kind of dab the glue on here quickly. And we'll just put a little bit in there, like so maybe. And this is a graphic I got from the Graphics Fairy. I think if you go to her site and she has a lot of free downloads, and you just kind of type in cats, pretty sure this little girl will pop up. I mean, she's just so sweet, isn't she cute? So we'll just glue her on here like this. And I can go a little heavier with this because that way it can seep in and even glue down that fabric even more. Oh, let's just put her in here like this. And then I really like using these words, and I'll have to look up and see where I got these words. There's quite a few digital designers out there that print words. I like these really well. They're just, all they are is positive words, which is kind of cool. But you can get words that have a different, that follow one subject. Like I have words that follow the sewing theme subject, and that was kind of fun to work with. So let's just see what will I do. Maybe I'm going to put it up here. I guess it doesn't matter that much. So there you go. And then you'll just cut off your little fabric. There we go. And then you'll I won't do it the whole way around, but then I am going to eventually just kind of make a little fringe there on the side. Now the last tip I wanted to share with you, and that is punching the hole. I gotta reach over here and get my Crop-A-Dile. I use the Crop-A-Dile because I feel like it has a really good heavy-duty punch on it. Maybe your handheld ones will work good as well. I've not tried it, but my one tip is that you punch it, that the punch that comes up, the part that's going to cut it, comes into your fabric first. And it makes, I'm trying to think where makes a cleaner cut, I believe, on the outside. That's just how I usually do it anyways. So there you go. I think I'm going to cut this down a little bit there. There we go. And I will add ribbons, and I will fringe it out a little bit. But there you go. And there is sort of a no-sew way to use a fabric, and just to make a tag different. I mean, you can use plain paper for sure, but this feels so nice, and it's just something different, That's all. So anyways, that is the little project I wanted to share with you today. Thank you so very much for stopping by, and I hope you have a real crafty day. Thanks. Bye.